So what we decided to do was create this new software program called Portfolio Builder. And the idea is very simple. Portfolios are portfolios, whether they're open accounts, TFSAs, RRSPs, and VisionWorks, whether they're investment portfolios in CorpWorks and TrustWorks. So by creating this Portfolio Builder account software, what we're doing is we're putting the construction of portfolios into a single tool, and those portfolios can then be reused in TFSAs, RSPs, and VisionWorks, investment accounts, CorpWorks, TrustWorks, and so on. So first of all, I'm just going to run through Portfolio Builder. We've taken 4 approaches. One is what we call basic, which is something you can do in VisionWorks now. It's extremely simple, nothing in detail, merely different returns, interest, dividend, capital gains returns. This would be used by somebody who's building portfolios using some other tool, and all they want to know on VisionWorks is how hard does somebody's money need to work for them? Do they need to earn a 2%, 4%, 6% return? So to create one of these, which is quite simple, all you do is you click the Add button next to Portfolio Name, give the portfolio a name, and then enter your different return assumptions. So you can see I've created a little portfolio I've called Conservative, Total Return. There is the ability to enter NERs or fees, giving a net return, and also the ability to enter a standard deviation. And then you can see this very simple returns legend with the different weightings. If we go to SMAs, separately managed accounts, you're going to have the ability to create any number of portfolio managers, and for each portfolio manager, any number of separately managed accounts. You can see right now that we have HON in here, and we have the different HON accounts, so I can switch between them or amongst them. So again, to create a portfolio manager, all you would do is click the Add button, put in the name of the portfolio manager, and then once you've created a portfolio manager, for that manager, you're going to be able to create, sorry, my computer seems to be a little kludgy here. You're going to be able to create any number of separately managed accounts. And to create one, you click the Add button, name the account. You can see that you can put in the general returns that will be earned. And then what you want to do is you want to add different asset classes. So you just click this button. It opens an asset classes list. And then all you would do is drag an asset class onto the asset classes list, put in the percentage of the portfolio that's invested in that asset class. You also have the ability to add asset classes. So there isn't an asset class in here that you want to use or name, then you could add it, and you can also reposition them in the list. So this is relatively straightforward. So you build your different asset classes, assign the overall returns for the particular SMA, and then it is now available for use in VisionWorks, CorpWorks, TrustWorks. If we go to the Asset Allocation tab, these are the standard 10 asset allocation models that we have currently. So again, you can use those. You can go in, and if you wish, you can edit them. You may already have some of these set up, by the way, and put in the different return assumptions. And to do that, you click Return Assumptions, and similar to what we have now, you can go in and edit the return assumptions for the different asset subclasses. So this is really just exactly what we have now. Detailed is going to give you the ability to create an unlimited number of portfolios with very specific holdings. So again, to do that, you click the Add button. You're going to name the portfolio. So I'm just going to call this Balanced. And then you can see the ability to add the different asset classes. What you do is you select asset classes from the list. So let's say I select mutual funds, and then you click this Add button, and that allows you to add different mutual funds. And the way you enter mutual funds is you simply click the Add button and then go in and add different funds. So if I wanted to add a money market fund, then I could add ABC 100, put in the geography, the currency, and any return assumption that I wanted to use on it, and then any MER for it. If I wanted to add a balanced fund, I'd click the Balanced heading, and then I'd be able to add a balanced fund. So once you've added the different funds, what you do is you drag and drop them into this area, close out this dialog, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put in the weighting of the portfolio. So I'm just going to put in 10 and 90 for illustration purposes, and then click OK. So now I've created my balanced portfolio, which is 10% money market funds, 90% mutual funds, balanced funds. You'll notice down here, by the way, that we can switch between asset class and geography. So I want to come back and have a look at this because I want to show you a couple of things that came up on Monday. If I go to Equities and click the Add button, again, you have the ability to add different equities. But what was suggested on Monday was two things. One is that we add a column for option premiums because there are some advisors who are working with equities and they do a lot of covered call writing, for instance. And the other thing was that we add a sector list. So we're in the process of doing that right now. And the idea is very simple. Clients might own a wide range of mutual funds, for instance, thinking that they're diversifying, when in fact the majority of the funds they're in are all, let's say, heavily weighted in financial services. So in fact, there's really not much diversification at all. So we were very close to getting the database completed and the ability to populate reports and so on, but we've taken time to add those two features. Basically, that's a portfolio builder. Very easy to go in, create your portfolios. You create them once, and then once created, you can reuse them over and over in VisionWorks, CorpWorks, and TrustWorks. I do want you to notice this one thing, which is very important, which is that the asset classes are based on a percentage weighting. And the reason for that is that when you do import a portfolio into VisionWorks and you put in the dollar value of the portfolio, then what VisionWorks does is it converts these percentage weightings into dollar values. So if you've got a portfolio that you recommend, let's just say for RESPs, and let's just say it's weighted amongst 5 different mutual funds, 20% each, and when you import that into VisionWorks, it won't matter if somebody's got $32,000 in an RESP, $4,180 in an RESP, or any other dollar amount. What will happen is these weightings, 20% in each of the mutual funds, will then be converted into a dollar value based on the total dollar value of the mutual fund. So let's open up VisionWorks and see how all of this is going to operate. So first of all, because we're making this significant change to how portfolios are handled, what we've also decided to do is change the concept of the default portfolio, which you all as experienced users may now be used to, but an awful lot of new users found it very confusing. So when you go to portfolio accounts, rather than the default, it's now going to be called the primary account. And when you go to current holdings, you've got a few choices. On the bank tab, you can select this checkbox so that the primary account just operates like your primary bank account. You know, salary goes into it, vacation expenses are paid out of it, etc. Or, if you wish, you can use it similar to what you can do now. Use it like a Manulife One account, in which case you can model a basic asset allocation or detailed portfolio. So let's assume you want to use it as a banking account and you want to set up a separate non-registered portfolio to house investments. By the way, I want you to remember that we're demoing this in order to give you a little preview and also to get feedback. And as I said, Monday we had some very valuable feedback. So keeping in mind that this is just a demo version, the database is not yet completely hooked up. So there may be occasions when I do something and we get a crash because the data can't be written to the database. Sorry, I forgot to mute, so I'm going to mute now.
The conference is now in silent mode.
Okay, so let's see how this works as a banking account. All you do is you select banking account, put in whatever dollar value is in it, click Save, and what I want you to notice is that the software automatically now sets up a non-registered portfolio, and if we go to Transfers Into, automatically it's going to transfer any excess cash flow into this non-registered portfolio that we set up. And this is actually being processed right now. That's why it's going to take a minute or so to do that, or whatever. By the same token, what happens is on the Solutions page, under Tactics, on the Assets tab, automatically auto withdrawals are selected and that non-registered portfolio is selected for auto withdrawals. So what that means is salary comes into your primary account, you pay your expenses out of it. If there's any excess cash flow, that's going to be now automatically transferred to the non-registered portfolio. If there are any years in which your cash uses exceed your sources and you need to draw down on the non-registered portfolio, then auto withdrawals is automatically set up, so money will be drawn back out of the non-registered portfolio into your primary bank account. So all of that's now automatically in place. So let's have a look at the non-registered portfolio. Here's where we have the different choices, same as we saw in Portfolio Builder, basic, SMA, asset allocation, detailed. And there are a couple of ways of working with this. With the basic portfolio, you could go in and say, well, I just want to put in whatever the client's got, so that's current holdings. You just click Portfolio Holdings and then just put in some general returns. Or you would open the list, select a portfolio that you built in Portfolio Builder, and then you would put in the dollar value of that portfolio. Same concept with the SMA. You would be able to go in, select the portfolio manager, the SMA, put in the portfolio value. You notice you can add additional fees, and then that would just import that portfolio right into VisionWorks. Same concept with asset allocation. So let's go to detail. Again, current holdings. Client comes to you with just a mishmash of different things. You select current holdings, portfolio holdings, and then you would have the ability to go in and start adding different holdings in, or as you can see, import from One Boss Universe or Wind Fund. So let's have a look at this. We'll open up the list, and what we'll do is we'll bring in that balanced portfolio that we created in Portfolio Builder. And here's where we don't know, what we're interested in is just what's the dollar value of that portfolio. So I'm just going to put in $102,500. I could be working with a non-registered portfolio for the Jones and put in $253,600. It wouldn't matter. And then when I click the Save button, and again, hopefully this won't collapse. It'll write to the database. If I now look at portfolio holdings, you'll see that our $102,500 portfolio is there. And the value of the money market and balance funds, you may recall we created those in Portfolio Builder, and the weighting was 10% and 90%. So now this shows up in VisionWorks as actual dollar amounts. And these dollar amounts, by the way, can be edited. You can edit the number of shares or units. In the case of a mutual fund, the price per share or unit. You can put in details. And if you do put in details, it will change the total value. Or you can go in and just edit the total value. You can also put in the ACV. So that's how this portfolio builder, where you create the portfolios, now integrates into VisionWorks. All you need to do is select a portfolio, put in the dollar amount, and then everything is automatically brought over. If I click Show Chart, you can see that the risk return assumptions will be brought over. Also the asset allocation by asset class, by geography, and as I mentioned, the third factor that we're adding right now is by sector. So let's go down and have a look at solutions, coming back to the question that was asked before. The client has some portfolio, very conservative set of returns, let's just say, kind of a GIC set of returns. And when we look at the overall income assets, what we see is that the income assets show a shortfall. So what we want to be able to do is very easily go to the Allocation tab, select an alternative portfolio, and then when we apply that alternative portfolio, we see, the impact on the output. Now, this is one thing that I'm not going to be able to do today for you, but the idea would be very simple. I could go in and let's use the SMA, for instance. I could go in, select a range of years, and then I could apply a different SMA with, depending on the returns, over different ranges of years. I also want to open up the chart so you can see there'll be the risk return graph, the allocation, and then you'll have the ability to do a Monte Carlo simulation for that particular portfolio. And in addition, you'll be able to do a Monte Carlo simulation and see the results for all portfolios. Okay, well, I want to thank you for your time.